UNA's National Broadcasting Society presents This College Life, where we hunt down the hottest topics and bring them straight to you. Hello, my name is Melissa Parker, and this is the first podcast of the UNA National Broadcasting Society's This College Life of the fall 2015 semester.
Hello, I'm Shaquille Shoulders, and I don't have a long speech.
Today we're going to be talking about campus safety. Last year I wrote an article for the Florala, and it was about the red zone, which is the first few weeks of college life where the rise of rape, sexual assault happens. So it's been noticed in the past, and there was a study done by the Journal of American College Health that said the university and college health and counseling centers frequently warn female students about the red zone, a period early in a student's first year at college during which she may be higher at risk for unwanted sexual experiences. Now, let me say that it's not just females.
It's also males, too, so it kind of is a flip coin both sides.
Right. I just want to give a few statistics about sexual assault. 44% of victims are under the age of 18. 80% are under the age of 30. That's college age, guys. It's kind of scary. Every 107 seconds, another American is sexually assaulted. In the time it takes you to brush your teeth, put on your shoes, someone has been sexually assaulted, and it could be someone you know. We have some tips, and these are general tips, you guys, to try to protect yourself. First of all, know your resources. You're on a college campus. Know who you can turn to, where to go if you've been sexually assaulted or if you know of someone who's been sexually assaulted.
There's a lot of programs and brochures around campus that let you know. And even some of these bathroom stalls has a little sticker on them that even gives you numbers where you can call and get support or have any questions.
Right. Also, stay alert. When you're moving around on campus or in the surrounding neighborhood, be aware of what's going on around you. Consider inviting a friend to join you or asking campus security for an escort. If you are alone, only use headphones in one ear to stay aware of your surroundings. I mean, how many times has someone sneaked up on you from behind because you just couldn't hear them? Be careful about posting your location. You know, we all like to post on social media where we're headed, where we're going to be. Be careful about that because people are watching. Make others earn your trust. You know, not everybody is trustworthy. You need to be careful of who you let into your inner circle and who you give your information to. And always have a plan B, a backup plan. You know, if something goes wrong, something goes bad, make sure there's a plan in place. You have a friend to call, someone to get help from.
And most of your friends will understand if you need a ride back, if you don't feel under weather or something. Don't let a total stranger you don't know take you back because you're not sure where they're going. Always call a friend, family member, or somebody that you really do trust.
Exactly. And finally, be secure. Lock your door and your windows when you're asleep. When you leave your car, lock your car doors. People can get in there, get in the back seat, and you wouldn't know it. Now, what about if you're in a social setting? What if you're at a party? If you're going to a party, go with people you trust and agree to watch out for one another. Watch your drink. Too many cases of people putting things in drinks and bad things happening. Know your limits. Know how many drinks you can have before you're just unaware of what's going on. That's a bad thing.
Make sure your friends know the difference of you having fun or you're just not being yourself. Because a lot of people can't tell the difference, so you need to make sure your friend knows the difference.
Right. And if you find yourself in a situation and you need to leave, it's okay to lie. Tell them something has come up, something is happening, it's an emergency, and you have to leave immediately. That's totally okay.
If you're going with a group of people, maybe have some signals or hand signals or some words that they can hear, or use some hand signals that you can summon them if you need something or something doesn't feel comfortable or you need to go.
Right. And lastly, be a good friend. Trust your instincts. If you notice something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Keep an eye out for your friends. Watch each other's backs. Okay? We have a special guest with us today. It's our new UNA Police Chief, Gilliland. Police Chief Gilliland brings 20 years of experience with him. And let me preface this by saying that UNA is one of the top 50 safest campuses in the country. So, Police Chief Gilliland, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I do have 20 years of previous experience. It's a combination of municipal policing experience, and roughly the last half of my experience has been based on university campuses. I do have in addition to that, I have my bachelor's in criminal justice, my master's in justice administration, and I'm currently finishing my doctoral degree in criminal justice and emergency management.
You are a busy man.
A little bit, yes.
Well, we really appreciate having you here on our show. So, campus safety, what can you tell me? What have you implemented here at UNA, or what do you hope to implement?
Okay. One of the things that I wanted to do coming in was take a little period of time and, excuse me, one of the things I wanted to do coming in was to assess the things that are working on campus, the things that are not working as well as we'd like them to work, get some feedback from the faculty, staff, and students, and find ways to professionalize our police department. One of those things is the process of accreditation. Accreditation is a system where you bring your policies and procedures in line with best practices, national standards, and make sure that they're based on sound principles that other professionalized police departments use. We're in the process of doing that. It'll probably be an effort that will span a year or two before we receive full accreditation, but that's nonetheless something that we certainly are working towards. The other things that we've been up to kind of during the summer months is upgrading the security mechanisms on campus. Phase one of the surveillance technology has been implemented. We added many cameras in the parking decks that focus on entrances, exits, stairways, elevators, things of that nature. We also replaced some of the existing cameras just to kind of upgrade from analog to digital. Digital will provide us with some better footage and the capability of zooming in and capturing better images so that if in case we need to make an identification on someone, we have the ability to do that. We've also implemented, anytime there's a new construction, we kind of have it in the plans to build in security features, security cameras to those new additions. We do have in Mattie Lou, which recently opened, we have cameras in the common areas, and we went back and replaced the existing cameras in some of the other buildings to provide us with better surveillance video. We also have a number of services I would like to touch on for our students here at UNA. We do have the RAD training, and that stands for Rape, Aggression, Defense.
Right.
It will provide female students, and it's certainly open to anyone else who would like to partake in that. It will provide them with some situational awareness training. It also will give them some defensive tactics type maneuvers, ways to avoid situations and ways to get out of situations if they were to present themselves.
So it's not only physical movements that they're learning and physical techniques, but it's also just being aware of things.
Right. You know, kind of reiterate some of what you said. Some of the biggest dangers with, especially with freshman students, you know, they're making a pretty difficult transition in their life.
Right.
A lot of times they're away from home for the very first time. So you kind of have to learn who you can trust, who you can't trust. So when you said make others earn your trust, that was very important because, you know, when you arrive at a new place, there's a lot of new faces. You don't know exactly who you can trust yet. And my suggestion would be not just to fall blindly into that and trust them because they're merely students here. You know, get to know who they are, kind of learn what their values are, and you'll get some kind of a feeling of whether there's somebody that you need to be engaged with and whether you need to, associate yourself with them. Another thing that is important for new students, learn the campus layout. If you've got a certain event going on, learn your path, plan ahead. And when I say learn your path, I'm talking about the entire surrounding environment. I mean, know where there's adequate lighting to walk at night. Kind of learn the areas where there may be shrubberies where anybody can hide. Know your routes. Kind of familiarize yourself with landmarks so that if you do need help, you have a way to accurately describe where you are to law enforcement. I would recommend that anybody on campus that's a student here program the emergency numbers into their phone.
That's a good idea.
So that in case of an emergency, we're a phone call away. The number's very easy. It's 256-765-HELP. If you can't remember the help portion of it, it's 4357. That will ring into dispatch. I certainly would like to, invite everybody, if you're trying to get around on campus and you don't feel safe, call that number and request a SNAP officer.
Now, what is SNAP exactly?
SNAP is a program that was implemented several years ago. It stands for Student Nighttime Auxiliary Patrol. What the police department does is work with some of the federal work study students, and some, to be honest with you, just want to be involved, and we try to integrate them in as well. They provide nighttime escorts for the students that may have to come and go across campus at night. One of the biggest concerns I've heard from some of the parents is that, my daughter may or may not feel safe, walking from the library to the residence hall at night. They're concerned about those things. So this program really has been helpful with calming some of those concerns. A lot of times you have crime on certain campuses, and a lot of times it's more the perception of crime or the fear of crime. So in order to bring that level of fear down amongst our students, we try to implement programs like this to make them feel safe. We're certainly willing to work with students in any way we can by providing either services such as the SNAP program and also programs such as, rape aggression defense to provide them with the information and the skills that they need to stay out of a situation or to respond to one in the event that it happens. My other advice would be, if you see anything suspicious, don't hesitate to notify us. We have given a variety of ways to do that. One obviously would be to call the dispatch number. Some of the others, there is a silent witness form on our website. It allows you to leave anonymous tips. You can also reach the police department by email at police@una.edu. That comes in. That is not an anonymous email,
Right.
but we do have one online if you want to leave that anonymously. We do not share the source of our tips to the public. We respond to these, and we try to keep all information confidential. Some of the things as we were working through the move-in process that I noticed just during move-in and thought I would want to mention in a setting such as this is for resident students to be aware of the people who live in those buildings. If you see someone that doesn't seem to belong, my first thing, don't let them in. Contact someone or, attempt to identify who that person is.
Right.
Another thing you have to be cognizant of is piggybacking. And what that refers to is if a student's entering the residence hall, as the door starts to swing and close, other people will catch it and come in right behind you. So when you're entering your residence hall, be aware of your surroundings and try to ensure that piggybacking is not a problem. The other thing, guard your room keys closely. When we talk about sexual assaults, typically what comes to mind is someone going to a party, and that happens. But also, these can certainly happen right inside the residence halls. So, keep the doors locked, keep the windows locked, make sure that you guard those room keys because you want to, maintain your safety. And then you did touch on being tactical with social media. That's very important. It's really, really easy to get carried away with that and post information that you shouldn't post. One, you probably need to go through your contacts periodically and clean that up and make sure that the people you have befriended on social networks are people who you actually know, people you actually trust. Then be very, very mindful when you're making posts not to give over-descriptive information about where you're going to be, when you're leaving, things of that nature, because it becomes very, very easy for a potential predator to kind of learn your routine, and that can be problematic. But as far as parties go, my tips are kind of go hand in hand with the ones on general campus, but I would make sure anytime I attend a social function that I went with a group of friends. I would make sure also that if those friends leave, I leave with them. And when I say friends, I'm talking about people that you have a lot of information about, people who have earned your trust. I wouldn't recommend getting into a vehicle with anybody that I didn't know very well, because you have no control over that situation.
Right.
You don't know where that vehicle is going to travel, or what kind of activities they're going to be partaking in. So you want to make sure that you always stay with people that you're very well familiar with. We touched on, or you touched on briefly, guarding drinks. Just to expand on that a little bit, if you are drinking a drink and you leave it for any period of time, I would recommend starting fresh and getting a new one. At the same time, make sure that you don't drink to the point of excess, to the
Right.
point where you lose control. And if you have a problem keeping track of your consumption, that's what friends are for. A lot of times they can kind of hold you accountable for that and make sure that things don't get out of hand. That's very important. I don't have the exact statistic on it, but I would say a high incidence of sexual assaults occur when there's alcohol involved. So that's always something to be aware of. But the biggest thing to me, take advantage of the resources that you have on campus. Take part in prior planning anytime you're going to be getting to and fro on campus, going back and forth to social functions, and be a good friend to others.
Absolutely.
Because I think as much as you want to look out for your own safety, you want to look out for the safety of your fellow students. We're here as a resource for the students. I'm welcome to any feedback that they have. I invite them not only to contact us by phone and email. We certainly invite any students that would like to visit our department. I enjoy sitting down, talking with students, learning their perspectives, things that they're concerned about, and certainly they will have suggestions that are helpful to us as we plan for student safety. But very, very honored to be asked to come and speak today, and hopefully some of the things that we're touching on will reach the students.
Well, I think so. And I really appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us and giving us some great tips and letting us know, UNA has those resources, guys. You just have to get out there and reach out. Anything else to add, please, Chief?
Just again, thank you for allowing me the opportunity, and I look forward to working with the students, faculty, and staff throughout the year.
Thank you. All right, guys, this has been UNA's National Broadcasting Society's This College Life. Shaq, you have anything to say?
He pretty much said everything that I could think of, so I really appreciate that he took his time. He took some time to come in here and speak with us. I know he's a busy person trying to get stuff set up for us, so I really appreciate him coming. Use these tips as you need to, and if you have any questions, he told you where you need to go, and that's it for me.
All right, now I just want to put a plug in there, you guys. Florala, that's your student campus newspaper, available every Thursday. Make sure to check them out and look for these podcasts on the florala.net website. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.